There is a silent poison that spreads in the life of every human being, the comfort zone. It feels peaceful, it feels safe, but beneath that illusion, it is slowly killing your spirit. Comfort is seductive, it whispers that you deserve rest, that you have done enough, that tomorrow will bring change. But tomorrow never comes for the one who chooses comfort today. The comfort zone does not imprison you with walls, it lulls you to sleep with softness. And when you wake, years have passed and life has quietly slipped away while you were busy feeling safe. What feels safe today becomes the biggest barrier to your tomorrow. Comfort is deceptive, it creates an illusion of peace while quietly weakening your strength. It makes you believe that stillness is balance, when, in truth, it is stagnation. The human spirit is meant to evolve, to stretch, to rise beyond limits, yet comfort seduces it into stillness. When life stops challenging you, it begins to decay you. Everything living grows through resistance. The body through strain, the mind through challenge, and the soul through uncertainty. Without discomfort, nothing transforms. Without friction, no fire burns. The more you choose ease, the more you move away from your potential. Growth demands you to step into places that make you uneasy, to face fears that make your heart tremble, and to act when your mind seeks rest. Discomfort is not punishment, it is invitation. It sharpens your awareness and forces you to adapt, to become more than what you were yesterday. Those who avoid discomfort in the name of peace never experience real peace. They only experience a comfortable numbness that looks calm but feels hollow. Comfort slowly kills curiosity. It takes away your hunger for discovery, your excitement for life, your urge to explore the unknown. When you choose to stay where nothing challenges you, you stop living and start existing. The world outside your comfort zone is not your enemy, it is your mirror showing you what you can become. Every time you step beyond the familiar, life rewards you with wisdom, strength, and growth. But when you stay confined, your mind shrinks and your spirit becomes dull. Comfort makes you forget that you are capable of more than survival. Most people call it peace, but often it is fear disguised as contentment. You avoid taking risks not because you are wise, but because you are afraid to fail. Comfort gives fear a silent home to grow, whispering that safety is strength. But the truth is reversed. The safest life is the most dangerous one because it kills the potential that lives inside you. Real safety lies not in protection, but in transformation. Every time you face the unknown with awareness, you reclaim a part of your freedom. Comfort does not destroy you instantly, it does so slowly, quietly and politely. It steals your time without noise, your purpose without pain, and your fire without warning. It convinces you that you are fine, even when your soul is suffocating. The real loss in life is not failure, it is the comfort that stops you from even trying. Discomfort is not your enemy, it is your path back to aliveness. Step into it, not because it is easy, but because it is the only way to meet the version of yourself that comfort has been hiding. When you step into the unknown, you are not just moving into a new space, you are stretching the boundaries of your being. Every unfamiliar moment tests the structure of your mind, demanding awareness where comfort once allowed blindness. The unknown exposes your fragility but also reveals your hidden strength. In discomfort, all the layers of illusion begin to fall away. You stop pretending to be in control and instead experience life as it is, raw, uncertain, alive. The mind trembles in such moments, but the spirit expands because only through uncertainty can you discover your true capacity. Growth never happens in repetition, it happens in resistance. The known can only keep you as you are, but the unknown has the power to recreate you. Discomfort is not chaos, it is evolution in progress. When you step into a challenge, you activate the dormant parts of your being that routine could never reach. What feels painful at first is actually a cleansing, removing your fears, your doubts, and your attachment to ease. Expansion does not come through pleasure but through endurance. Every time you face something that scares you, life widens its horizon for you. The unknown is not your enemy, it is your teacher. When you resist it, you stay trapped in cycles of predictability, but when you surrender to it, you awaken possibilities that were sleeping inside you. Discomfort forces awareness. It does not allow you to drift unconsciously. It demands your presence, your focus, your energy. This is why people who walk willingly into the unknown always carry a deeper light within them. They have seen what lies beyond fear. The one who dares to stand in discomfort learns to move through life with quiet power. Comfort dulls the edge of your consciousness, while discomfort sharpens it. The moment you stop seeking ease, life begins to reveal its true depth. You realize that discomfort is not there to punish you, it is there to refine you. Without resistance, there is no resilience. Without chaos, there is no clarity. The storm you fear is the same force that purifies you. Every difficult situation is an invitation to grow beyond the limits of your current identity. Those who run from discomfort stay small, but those who embrace it, comfort dulls the sharpness of awareness. The more you remain surrounded by ease, the more your senses begin to fade. Comfort feeds the illusion of peace, while quietly draining the fire that keeps you alive. It removes the need to observe, to question, to act. When everything feels settled, the mind begins to sleep even while awake. You stop noticing the details, the movement of life, the subtle signs of change. Comfort wraps you in a blanket of stillness that feels soothing at first but soon becomes suffocating. Awareness thrives on challenge. When life pushes you, when uncertainty shakes you, when something unsettles your rhythm, your perception sharpens. You begin to see what you once ignored. Discomfort forces you to stay alert because survival and growth demand consciousness. The more you are tested, the clearer your understanding becomes. This is why people who live with ease often lose their edge, not because they are incapable, but because they have forgotten how to stay awake within their own lives. A comfortable life removes friction, and without friction, there is no spark. Curiosity fades because nothing demands your attention. Passion fades because nothing requires your energy. When there is no struggle, the mind begins to settle for what is known and imagination dies. Comfort numbs the hunger for discovery, for creation, for expansion. You stop reaching for the next level, not because you cannot, but because you no longer feel the need. The tragedy of comfort is not what it gives, but what it quietly takes away. When awareness weakens, the connection between action and purpose breaks. You begin to move without direction, speak without depth and live without intensity. Everything becomes mechanical, predictable, safe, but lifeless. You no longer act from a place of clarity, but from habit. Life turns into repetition, and repetition without awareness is decay. The mind that once questioned everything now accepts anything. You mistake familiarity for fulfillment and stillness for peace. Awareness is the flame that must be constantly fed, and discomfort is its fuel. The moment you stop challenging yourself, the flame begins to shrink. To remain truly alive, you must stay alert to life's movement, the unseen shifts, the silent lessons, the subtle transformations. When you choose to face the uneasy, you awaken that inner fire again. Comfort may offer rest, but awareness offers life. One soothes the body, the other awakens the soul. When life falls into repetition, it loses its rhythm with growth. The same actions, the same thoughts, the same surroundings slowly drain the spark that once drove you. Routine becomes a silent trap that feels safe yet robs you of expansion. When you do the same things every day without questioning, your senses become dull, and the energy that once made you restless for progress starts to fade. What was once stability turns into stagnation, and what was once comfort becomes the very reason for your decline. When the human mind stops being challenged, it begins to shrink. The ability to adapt, to think sharply, to create something new is built only in friction. Without challenge, the inner strength weakens, like muscles that are never used. Life begins to lose its color and you stop feeling the pulse of aliveness within you. You may appear to be functioning, but inside, you are moving through motions without awareness, without purpose, without intensity. Challenge is what keeps you alive inside your own existence. When something tests you, it awakens a deeper intelligence that comfort cannot reach. It forces you to see beyond your patterns, to step outside your ease and to touch the edges of your potential. Without that tension, the mind sleeps, the will fades, and the fire of life grows dim. Growth is not born from repetition but from resistance. When challenge disappears, meaning disappears with it. You start to fill the emptiness with distractions, temporary pleasures, and hollow pursuits, mistaking activity for purpose. The mind becomes restless yet directionless. You keep moving, but without a sense of creation or discovery. The routine gives you structure, but it no longer gives you life. Each day looks the same, and soon you cannot tell whether you are truly living or merely existing. To live without challenge is to slowly decay while appearing alive. The mind that does not stretch, the heart that does not risk, and the will that does not struggle eventually collapse into emptiness. Challenge does not destroy you, it refines you. It burns away the unnecessary and reveals what is real. A life that embraces difficulty stays awake. A life that avoids it turns into silence long before death arrives. Most people convince themselves they are at peace when in truth, they are only hiding from fear. They build walls around their comfort and name it stability. The truth is, fear has disguised itself so well that it feels safe, even sacred. The mind begins to believe that avoiding the unknown is wisdom, that staying untouched by uncertainty is maturity. But what it truly is fear's most deceptive form, a quiet surrender that wears the mask of calm. When you refuse to take a step forward, fear whispers that it's unnecessary. It tells you that you already have enough, that there's no need to disturb what's working. Yet deep down, you know something is missing. You know there's a pulse within you that's growing weaker each time you choose comfort over courage. Every avoided risk builds another layer of numbness until you no longer feel the hunger to grow. You begin to confuse stillness with peace, when in reality, it's just the silence of fear controlling your movement. This disguised fear does not scream, it softly convinces you that change is dangerous. It builds excuses, rationalizes hesitation, and feeds you illusions of safety. It's not an external force, it's an internal voice that limits you before life ever does. It whispers, you are fine where you are, and in that whisper, your potential begins to die slowly. Fear's power lies not in terror but in comfort, because comfort keeps you still long enough for your spirit to lose its fire. The mind constantly seeks safety in what it already knows, clinging to repetition as if it were survival itself. It fears what it cannot predict, what it cannot control, and thus creates the illusion that familiarity equals peace. But this peace is only a cage wrapped in comfort. When the mind refuses to step into the unknown, it condemns life to a loop of sameness, where each day feels like a slightly altered version of the last. Growth begins only when you allow yourself to walk into the spaces where the mind trembles, where the outcome is uncertain, but the experience is real. Life does not blossom in control, it expands through chaos, risk and surrender. Every great discovery, every meaningful transformation was born from the courage to enter the unknown. The mind fears the dark, but darkness is where new light is born. When you walk into the unfamiliar, your awareness deepens, your senses sharpen, and your spirit comes alive. The unknown is not your enemy, it is the womb of all creation. Everything you call progress, learning or awakening has emerged from someone's willingness to explore what lay beyond comfort. When you live only through what you already know, you repeat the past endlessly. The mind tricks you into believing you are moving forward, but in truth, you are only walking in circles. The unknown terrifies the intellect because it cannot calculate it. But what the intellect cannot calculate, consciousness can experience. To live fully is to trust that something far greater than thought guides you once you stop resisting uncertainty. When you let go of the need to control, you begin to flow with life rather than stand against it. The unknown is a test of faith, not faith in religion or belief, but faith in your own existence. Every step you take into uncertainty strengthens your spirit and dissolves the illusions that fear builds. The moment you embrace not knowing, you become limitless. The walls of self-doubt, insecurity and hesitation start to crumble because they were never real, they were only thoughts repeated too often. Remaining in the known may feel safe, but safety kills aliveness. The fire of creation burns only in those who dare to step where there are no guarantees. The unknown is not chaos, it is pure potential waiting for your courage to bring it to life. When you stop seeking certainty, you start living authentically. Only then does life reveal its true beauty, a beauty that no predictable routine could ever offer. Comfort is the slowest form of self-destruction because it does not break you all at once, it weakens you quietly from within. It dulls your edge, numbs your passion and convinces you that stillness is peace when it is only decay. The most dangerous thing about comfort is how gentle it feels while it steals your potential. It traps you in a life that looks peaceful on the surface but is rotting underneath. Slowly, the hunger to grow fades and you begin to call that emptiness contentment. The mind loves comfort because it demands nothing, it wants predictability, routine and familiarity. It tells you that effort is struggle and struggle is suffering, so you settle for mediocrity disguised as stability. But life was never meant to be static. Everything alive moves, evolves and transforms. When you resist that natural rhythm by clinging to comfort, you begin to suffocate under the weight of your own limitations. The longer you stay in comfort, the smaller your world becomes until you can no longer imagine stepping beyond it. Comfort does not ask for your permission to destroy, it does so silently by robbing you of purpose. It replaces ambition with excuses and curiosity with fear. It tells you there will be time later, but later never comes. You start losing your strength, not because life becomes harder, but because you stop challenging yourself. Every day you choose ease over effort, you trade a piece of your fire for a false sense of security. True peace is not found in avoiding discomfort, but in facing it willingly. Discomfort is the force that polishes the soul, that pushes you to grow beyond your old self. Pain is not your enemy, it is proof that you are alive. Discomfort brings clarity because it strips away illusions. When you face what challenges you, there is no room left for pretense or confusion. It exposes the raw truth about who you are and what you are capable of. Comfort hides the truth, but discomfort forces you to meet it head-on. It tears apart the layers of excuses the mind creates and leaves you standing in front of your own reality. The mind may resist it, But the spirit thrives on it, for it is through discomfort that understanding deepens and awareness sharpens. When life pushes you beyond what feels safe, you begin to see how fragile fear truly is. Fear feeds on distance. The moment you step closer to it, it starts losing its shape. Every act of facing discomfort willingly turns weakness into strength. The energy once trapped in hesitation becomes confidence. Discomfort burns away the unnecessary and focuses your mind on what truly matters. It refines your purpose just as fire refines gold. The mind always seeks comfort because it craves control. But clarity never arises from control, it arises from surrender. When you walk into discomfort without resistance, you discover a silence that is far stronger than fear. That silence is clarity. It is not confusion that holds people back, but their unwillingness to experience the tension that clarity demands. Clarity is not gifted, it is earned through moments of friction, struggle and courage. Power is not born from comfort, it is born from endurance. When you stay present through discomfort, you train your mind to obey awareness rather than emotion. You stop being a prisoner of circumstance and become the creator of your own responses. The more discomfort you endure consciously, the stronger your inner stability becomes. Discomfort reveals the depth of your strength, not through calmness, but through your ability to remain steady in chaos. Clarity and power are the rewards for those who do not run from discomfort, but welcome it as a teacher. It is through these experiences that your vision becomes unclouded and your will becomes unshakable. Each time you face discomfort, a new level of awareness unfolds within you. What once felt like pain becomes transformation, and what once felt unbearable becomes the ground for wisdom. In the presence of discomfort, you do not break, you awaken. Freedom does not exist within what you already know, it lives beyond the walls of familiarity. The known feels safe because it has been experienced before, but it also confines you to repetition. When you stay trapped in patterns that do not challenge you, life becomes mechanical. Real freedom begins the moment you step into uncertainty and stop demanding guarantees. The essence of life is movement, and that movement only happens when you stop clinging to what feels secure. The mind craves control because it fears loss, but this need for control is what suffocates true living. Every attempt to protect yourself from discomfort builds invisible chains around your being. You may feel safe, but that safety is only the comfort of confinement. Freedom requires risk, and risk requires trust in something deeper than logic. The more you control, the smaller your world becomes. The more you trust, the more vast your possibilities grow. Walking into discomfort consciously is an act of liberation. When you willingly face uncertainty without panic, you discover that fear was never the enemy, it was your teacher. The body may tremble, the mind may resist, but awareness remains untouched. To live freely is not to eliminate fear, but to stop letting it dictate your actions. Awareness burns through fear the way sunlight burns through fog. The moment you stay still in discomfort, clarity reveals itself. Freedom demands that you surrender the illusion of safety. You cannot hold on to control and experience liberation at the same time. Life will always test your boundaries, and only those who accept the tests without retreating ever discover their true capacity. The more you let go of resistance, the more life flows through you. It is in discomfort that the soul learns strength, patience and balance, qualities no comfort zone could ever offer. When you walk beyond familiarity with full awareness, nothing outside can imprison you. Situations lose their power to disturb you because you no longer depend on them for peace. You begin to live with a kind of inner fearlessness that no circumstance can touch. Freedom is not found by escaping discomfort, but by walking straight through it without losing presence. That is where life stops being survival and becomes liberation. The comfort zone is not a place, it is a state of mind, a silent agreement with mediocrity. Every time you choose ease over effort, you trade a piece of your potential for temporary relief. The truth is, life will never give you peace through avoidance. Peace only comes through expansion. Step into the unknown, not because it is easy, but because it is the only place where you truly come alive. The real destruction is not in the discomfort you fear, it is in the comfort you worship.